It should be obvious that we cannot solve a crisis with the same methods that got us into it in the first place.
This is a last chance saloon. Because if we don't really take the decisions that are vital now, it's going to be almost impossible to catch up.
We will end the moratorium on extracting our huge reserves of shale, which could get gas flowing as soon as 6 months. We'll give way.
If unprecedented changes are not made and made soon, there will be irreversible damage to the planet.
Zero carbon.
East Talk. Hello and welcome to Zero Carbonista Series 4 Fool's Gold. I'm Ian Collins and this is the UK's #1 environment-based podcast. If it's green, it's in. And I think it's worth saying we're actually rather lucky to have Dale with us today. It could have gone so awfully wrong yesterday, Dale. I thought you were going to get... I was watching you... So this is reference to the Just Stop Oil protest. You were there yesterday, right in the heart of it, right in the thick of it. You made some comments and speeches, but I thought there was a point. It looked, when I looked at the Daily Mail, I thought... Dale's going to get nicked here. What's going on? I was going to come and rescue you at one point.
Nice one. Reading the headlines this morning and the stuff these guys are writing, the Mail, the Sun, in particular, there's others as well. But it's like they want me to be arrested. They're now calling Just Stop Oil a criminal organization of which I'm the funder. And
the Don.
Yeah. Whenever we have these conversations, I always think of some evil Bond villain, stroking a white cat and all that kind of stuff.
You don't even own a cat, do you?
No, I wouldn't either. I think it's wrong, right? Ownership,
right, yeah.
Animal ownership. But look, what a day, right? I mean, the first time I've been out protesting with Just Stop Oil, it really was a bit surreal. I landed in Parliament Square, met a couple of guys. And
so can we just collect, when you say landed, just so that the helicopter conspiracy theorists don't start again? You're using that as a metaphor, right? You arrived absolutely. At Parliament Square, just to be clear.
Thank you, yes. and then next thing you know, it's like happening. They passed me an orange high vis, and people appeared from nowhere putting on these high vises, and then some traffic lights went red. Pedestrian crossing. They just walked out and stayed there, and I walked with them. It's a very weird feeling though, because all of your social conditioning tells you to get out the road as quickly as possible, doesn't it? Right?
I never thought of that. That's a good point.
And it's just weird to then just stand there, and then we walk. And again, it kicks in. I just want to walk fast, right? But, it has to be a slow walk. It was quite painful and a little bit kind of anxiety-inducing. It was a strange thing.
And you're not exactly a stranger to protest, but this particular method, or just being in the thick of it in this way, it felt a bit different.
Yeah, I guess it's like inviting conflict. That's not something that I do. I don't back away from it, but I don't invite it. And of course, if you stand in the middle of the road in London blocking the traffic, you are inviting conflict. Yeah. So that felt a little bit strange. And then we had a very slow walk around Parliament Square, and then off up Whitehall, I think it was, past number 10, which was a bit of fun. Somebody chucked me the megaphone, and so I had did a bit of megaphone diplomacy along Whitehall. Is
that the official term? Megaphone diplomacy. I like that. I'm sure that's in a United Nations file somewhere.
That's right.
If in doubt, enlist some megaphone diplomacy. Yeah. I mean, what's a lack of diplomacy on a megaphone? I suppose just swearing, is it? I guess.
Well, maybe it is, yeah. I didn't do that, by the way, either. I mean, I know that I lapse into swearing in these podcasts, but that didn't happen on the megaphone. And look, we got to another square, not sure where it is. London's not my place, really. Don't know where things are, what they're called. But we got to another square, and then the cops came over. And the cops have been really nice, actually, all day. And they said, look, we mean it this time, right? If you don't get off the road, we're going to arrest you. That's the final warning. Apparently, there's a whole protocol where once they say final warning, arrest is next if you don't get off the street. And it was amazing because the organizers came to everybody and said, if you don't want to get arrested, step onto the pavement. And 4 people stayed on the road intending to get arrested. It was all so civilized. And they took them across the road to another place. And it was like a press gathering of some kind. It was a slow motion arrest. It was more theatre than anything else. And then they took them one at a time to waiting vans through crowds of supporters. It must have taken about 15 minutes to arrest 4 people and put them in a van. It was very strange. They were giving speeches while they were being handcuffed and stuff like that. Yeah, a really surreal experience, I would say. And then I jumped on.
I was just going to say, so you said the police actually were okay throughout all of this. There was no aggression or hassle.
No, they were decent. There's a picture of me fist bumping, not punching. Let me start that again.
Just to clarify.
me fist bumping a copper at the end of the march. It's in the tabloids today, along with some rabid opinions. Oh my God, it's incredible. It really has triggered them. But what are you going to do, right? I think the Just Stop Oil people are really incredibly brave. There's people there, putting their liberty on the line. And, for a really important cause. So I went and taken the flack now from the right-wing media.
Yeah.
Bless them.
I thought I'd have a little look at some of the comments as well. And you kind of wonder, I always fear for people's sanity sometimes when I see some of these. Just the first one I fished out, Dale Vince should be dead. No, I thought that's a bit over the top, isn't it, really?
A bit strong.
It's a bit strong. It just went on a protest. How did that get through the moderators?
That was the Sun editor, right?
That's right. That's the main headline today.
I recorded a lovely little video for the Daily Mail. It's on my social media. Walking at the front of the march, I just said, got a message from the Daily Mail, look straight at the camera, flick the V's. I loved it. I've watched it back. It's a good one.
They may well. I mean, it could be that eventually the Daily Mail come calling.
Well, I met the journalist from the Daily Mail. We were chatting and I asked him where he was from. He was interviewing me. And then he said to me, it was so funny. He said, doesn't matter what I say, you'll turn it against me and use it to raise funds. That's him.
Here's a couple of others. People have this is from Jim, who says, people have the right to protest. Suck it up, car users. There you go. So this is on the Daily Mail.
Yeah. And look, it's probably, I don't know if the protest lasted an hour or something like that. I don't think it was madly disruptive in the scheme of things, right? Considering we're in London traffic anyway, but certainly not disruptive compared to what's going on in the background. Obviously, the climate crisis, which I keep telling all the media outlets talking to me, 40,000 deaths across Europe last year. That's a little bit fucking disruptive, right? When you lose your life because of the climate crisis and a bit of traffic, well, not really, is it? One
here from Scooby says, cut their benefits. So when you go to sign on Monday, Dale, they might have a word with you because Scooby says so.
I think Scooby should do one.
Yeah, I think so. Will says, try mum jokes on them. Your mum would stop traffic because she's massive, says Wills. No, me neither. But it's a nice try from Wills. Whose agenda says, aren't those vests and banners made of plastic? An oil byproduct, and the same goes for the clothes they're wearing.
I saw some of this on social media. I thought, oh, blimey, bless them, really. They don't understand what the issue is in that case. But, plastic's not a byproduct anyway. It's a main product of oil. And this is not about not using oil. This is about not finding more forms of oil. And obviously part of that is we have to stop burning it as fast as possible to make energy. Yeah. That's a very different thing to not using oil for things that it's good at. Not that plastic is good, because there's another issue there anyway, but that's a different thing further down the line.
This comes from Peter the Great, who says, without police collusion and protection, these clowns would not be doing what they're doing.
I'm liking your voice there.
I'm trying to employ some BAFTA-like drama to this stuff. But there is a suggestion that, and many people have said this and we've debated it as well, that the police are kind of tacitly on your side.
And that's not true. In my limited experience, I've been on one march, that's not true. The police tried to move it all along, kept encouraging people to get out of the way, walk faster, all that kind of stuff. And, they deployed the law, the new Section 12 thing. I think, you've got to say fair play to the police. They allowed a little bit of a protest and then they stopped it. Yeah. I think that's like living in a democracy, right?
From Ego Sum Maxima, who says...
Where are they all coming from?
I don't know. I cry for these people. Funded by... This is the Daily Mail again. Funded by Dale Vince so he can build more wind farms and boost his wealth.
Yeah. Daily Mail, did you say?
Yeah.
Not the brightest, are they?
Ombre says, run them over. It's not very nice, is it?
No, isn't very nice at all.
This one from Oak and Elm. Decent, affordable public transport would make these kind of protests far less effective. It's kind of a fair point in a weird way.
Yeah, good point. Actually, just stopping drilling for oil and gas in the North Sea would kill the whole thing.
Yeah, there is another way around it. Yeah, that would stop it as well. Firestorm says, I don't understand the police. 1 minute they're saying they have no powers to do anything. The next they are making arrests or handing out Section 12 public order offences. What's the difference?
I have no idea. Obviously, at the coronation, they just arrested people randomly for being anti-monarchy, didn't they?
Sparkle says, Daddy's little trust fund children. That's who they are.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Sparkle, come on down and meet some of the people that are doing this. They're a long way from that.
All posh kids, because you're very posh, obviously, Dale. All posh kids out there doing so because Bank of Mum and Dad are funding them.
Yeah, there's kind of a lot of bitterness and prejudice out there in the world, isn't there? That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop that. I don't want to hear any more of that. It's like bringing me down, man.
Daily Mail says, bore off with this story. These people have a right to protest, Daily Mail.
I love it.
That's
You made
Carl.
that one up.
Yeah, no, it's the very last.
Sorry. I thought it was a quote for the Daily Mail.
No, that's from Carl 09. Okay. I don't know if that's when he was born. That makes him 14, but it could be. It might be. I don't think he's the average target readership for the Daily Mail somehow.
No, I think you're probably right.
Hi, I'm Mike Graham from Talk TV, and I've been asked to tell you about green issues and a new book called Manifesto. It's brilliant, apparently. Do you believe in climate change? I don't. Do you believe we all need to find a greener way of living our lives? No, I don't either. I think it's all a load of guff perpetuated by loony lefties and eco-zealots hell-bent on causing a nuisance. Do you believe we're all killing our beautiful planet? No. Neither do I, but I know a fellow who does. His name's Dale Vince. He's so convinced he's written a whole book about it called Manifesto. The Battle for Green Britain. It's part memoir, part handbook for changing the world and shaking it up, apparently. I won't be buying it, but you can if you want to waste your hard-earned cash. It's $4.99. Pretty cheap, isn't it? You must be wealthy as hell. According to this script, it's available now from fgr.co.uk/shop.
Where does it go next, though? Because there is... So the counter... Can I just put my anti-protest hat on, Dale, for a second?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, you've got a wardrobe of hats.
Yeah.
I know it.
Where's the anti-pro... Oh, thank you. There you go. The dresser has just brought it in. So the anti-protest hat says it's brilliant to protest. It's right to protest. There's nothing wrong with protesting. But to do it every day clearly isn't the spirit of the right to protest.
Yeah, and that's...
Because otherwise it's a perpetual protest.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's a fair point as well. But, some of the best protests in history have been occupations, perpetual protests, occupations of squares and stuff like that. And people saying, look, we're not going to go away until you fix this. And it's not getting fixed, right? I mean, the Conservatives are doubling down. Rishi Sunak this week called me, what did he call me? An eco-zealot. And I just want to say that these people got to use his own language. These are fossil fuel zealots, right? They're just doubling down, trebling down on fossil fuels, just caused the biggest energy crisis that the world has ever experienced, actually. It's bigger than the problems of the 70s, with our bills quadrupling and stuff like that. That was caused by fossil fuels and global markets for fossil fuels. And Sunak's response is to say, well, we need to drill the North Sea to squeeze some more oil out. But the North Sea's running out, by the way. It's got 10 years before it's empty. Yeah. His response is to drill it more and say that will help lower energy bills, which it can't. That's an actual lie, actually, because he must know better. He's not a stupid man.
He's accusing Labour of and we'll come to Labour in a second because there's a story that's just broken about their pledges on green investment. But what Sunak is saying is that if Starmer licenses no more oil companies drilling, etc., we will be short of oil, and then we'll have to go cap in hand to countries like Russia.
It's such bullshit, right? I mean, it's such bullshit. What we haven't done new drilling in the North Sea for a very long time, right? We haven't had problems other than the energy crisis, but that's because of the global market in fossil fuels, and half of our gas comes from the North Sea now. And in that energy crisis, we paid a global price for it, 10 times the normal price, because we allow that to happen. And that's why I say drilling for more oil and gas in the North Sea can't lower our energy bills. It's stupid to say that, or it's a lie to say that, because we allow global markets to set the price. It can't lower our energy bills. It doesn't matter where we buy oil and gas from. We pay the same price, whether we make it here or get it from Saudi Arabia. So he's talking nonsense as a reason for drilling. And because the other thing they say is it'll increase our energy security. But look, the North Sea is nearly empty. It'll take years to bring new oil and gas fields into being. And once they are up and running, they may last 10 years. How long is that? There's no energy security in 10 years worth of energy, is there?
Of course there's not. You've got to be looking at half a century if you're thinking ahead. But the politicians don't tend to do that. But when Starmer says, no more licenses, no more drilling, I mean, is he being slightly disingenuous in that there's not much of that going on anyway?
That's right. But this is the issue. New drilling, new licensing, it shouldn't be happening. I mean, all of the science tells us that. The UN, the IEA, everybody's consistent on this theme. We can't drill for more oil and gas if we are to have any chance of hitting 1.5 degrees, global temperature rise. So that's a very strong, consistent, scientifically backed position. Labour are completely right on that. We shouldn't be doing more drilling. We shouldn't be opening coal mines either. That's just the way that it is. But look, there's a contrast here between fossil fuels. If we drill in the North Sea, maybe we'll find some oil and gas that'll last us another 10 years. It won't make us more energy secure. It won't lower energy bills because it's a single-use fuel. Renewable energy is forever. It's a forever fuel. If we invest our time and money now in a rapid transition to 100% green energy, we can have permanently super low energy bills. We can end energy poverty. We can provide massive resilience to our economy, create hundreds of thousands of really good long-term jobs in these new clean industries. All of this is an incredible opportunity, and messing around in the dog days of fossil fuels, trying to squeeze a few more drops out of the North Sea is the height of stupidity.
Here's a final one then. This just broke just as we started recording this. Labour, the headline is Labour waters down £28 billion green investment pledge. Labour has rowed back on its pledge to invest £28 billion a year in green industries if it wins power, saying it needs to be responsible with public finances. Instead, Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves said she would now ramp up investment over time from a 2024 election win, reaching £28 billion, which is what they said, by 2027. So the pledge, the amount of money is still there, but over a longer period of time.
Yeah, I think that means it's going to start. It won't hit its peak until 3 years after the election.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is the end of the world. Labour are obviously coming under a lot of scrutiny and some attack, I would say, for the pledge. And obviously they're feeling the pressure of that. I don't think there's anything surprising in there. Of course, they're going to be responsible with public money. They're not going to do a Liz Truss, right? And fuck us all up with unfunded.
Oh, come on. She was great, Dale. She was great. Liz was brilliant. Her and Kwasi. What a pair. What a duo. Starsky and Hutch, Cannon and Ball, Truss and Quat. I mean, man alive. Don't get better.
The entertainment value of last summer's Tory leadership shuffle was it was a beauty. It was good. It was good. The thing is, as well, to bear in mind, and this statement doesn't bother me at all. And the reason for that is that investing in green energy is an investment that pays for itself very quickly. If we were running the country like a business, which is what the Tories always claim to do, then we would look at the opportunity in green energy and we would say, borrow money to build that stuff because it's a great investment for our country. It's economic on its own terms. And so I've got no fear that when Rachel Reeves gets into office and she sees these opportunities, she'll say, well, no, these are good things to do with public money, actually.
Listen, I've got a funny feeling we're going to have a bucket load of topics this time next week, Dale. This is the gift that keeps on giving. The government are not letting us down in the agenda department.
No, it's been a mad week. It started with the Daily Mail front page, didn't it? About this funding hoo-ha, this connection they're trying to make.
Hoo-ha.
The hoo-ha word. And it's just it's gone mental this week, actually. Yeah. I want to say I'm loving it. And I kind of am. You can't run away from it, right? You can't.
No. I mean, you're there in the kind of eye of the storm in that respect, and I know you don't have a problem with that. And certain quarters of the media will keep it up, and you will take it on the chin and fight back. So.
And by the way, right, these quarters of the media that you're referring to, look at their ownership, right? They're all tax exile billionaires. Otherwise, you've got the Barclay brothers, or there's only one of them surviving, who's actually just having the Telegraph sold out from under him. But, he's a tax exile. You've got the Russian billionaire dude who was put in the House of Lords against the advice of MI5 by Johnson. Look at the ownership of these tabloids, these right-wing, press outlets. And then you understand their agenda.
Very suspicious man, aren't you, Dale?
Yeah. Well, no. It looks so bloody obvious.
Yeah, looks and sounds like a duck and all the rest of it. Brilliant.
Who's like a duck, right?
Yeah, darn right. Have a great week, Dale. We'll speak in 7 days.
Yeah, thank you. See you then.
That's it for this episode. Don't forget, of course, you can follow this podcast from your provider. That way you get each new episode automatically. And do make sure you follow Dale on social media, twitter.com/DaleVince, facebook.com/DaleVince, and on Insta too. There we go.
Yeah, nice. Oh, we forgot to talk about Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can do it like this, can we? There's a postscript.
What happened with Piers Morgan, Dale?
Well, I went on a show. Actually, he sent his cameras to Stroud, and we did a remote interview from our office, which was quite nice of them. I had a right old time, actually. He wasn't a bad person to speak to. First half of the interview was kind of straightforward. He said he understood the oil issues and stuff. He just didn't like the methods, which a lot of people are saying. So that was fair enough. I could accept that. And then he went into Piers Morgan mode for the second half, came out of the wardrobe like the Hulk or something. And he's like, avocados and almonds, right? You're a vegan, but do you eat avocados and almonds? And I'm like, oh my God, I laughed. I said, I knew it was coming. This is what you say to vegans. And then we had this exchange, I would say. It was all decent. None of it was angry. But at some point he said to me, I'll ask the questions, Mr. Vince. This is my interview. And I'm like, no, Piers, this is our interview. Because I'm like,
fair line.
I'm like, so you're okay with the murder of baby cows so that you can drink their mother's milk? He wouldn't answer it. So I wouldn't let it go. I'm like, you're ducking the question. He's gone on about billions of bees being slaughtered to make avocados. I don't know where he gets these ideas from. And then I told him that actually avocados and almonds come from Spain. He was shocked. They cut that bit out. He said, how do you know they come from Spain? I'm like, well, I use my eyes. How do we know anything, Piers?
So that bit didn't make the cut?
No, they cut that bit. He thought it all came from California, and he thought he had a bang to rights anti-vegan argument right there. If you eat almonds, you're a hypocrite. That was
you should have just said chips, as we always do. Chips.
Vegan
food, chips, the most popular food in the land. So there you go.
It was good fun anyway.
Good work.
Zero carbon.
East of.